What's up, Coinbro fam? How you guys doing? It is Wednesday. It's a little later today than I usually do these videos, but I was slept in, man. I was tired. I don't know what it is. Some days when you got kids and stuff too, you just have days where you just, if they're not home and they're at school, you'll just sleep. And I slept in till 10:30 today, which is pretty late for me. I'm usually up early. But anyway, let's talk about some crypto. Bitcoin today, about 69, 70K. So nothing much. We're not really moving. We're down to like 1 to 2%. We're going to talk a little bit more about like what's happening in one of the major stories today. I wouldn't really say major story, but just one of the stories today on why Bitcoin's kind of ranging like this, which is not bad, right? Like a $70,000 Bitcoin is, in my opinion, pretty good considering the war going on, issues with oil. We have all this uncertainty in the world, and Bitcoin's holding strong, man. 70K. I'm also an OG in the space, so I remember Bitcoin when it was the $100 range, when I first got into it. So to me, $70,000 Bitcoin, I probably have a little skewed vision on, the price because, if you came into the market and you bought the top at, 100, 120, you're probably a little bit stressed out right now. But this happens every cycle, and it's playing out very similar. There's always black swan events, but honestly, I think Bitcoin is holding up better than most people thought it would through all of what we're going through. So anyway, moving on. Doge down. No, Doge is up about 1.5%, 2%. XRP's pretty much exactly the same. Solana the same. Not even 1% difference. Bitcoin, no movement. Ethereum went up 1%. We are sideways. By every single definition of the term, we are sideways right now in the market. And there's a lot of reasons, right? Well, obviously the uncertainty, you have all this world stuff happening, and I've been reading more and more about the war. I hate always bringing it up because it's kind of like, I wouldn't say negative, it's just what's happening, but it's not a lot of good, right? Like anytime there's war, it's kind of like a depressing thing. People are dying, and there's things like battles over oil, and it always ends up being over money somehow, right? And that affects an industry that is money. So one of the main stories I want to talk about, and we'll go over some other ones too, but it's why the story is, it's Bitcoin is at its most frustrating stage. That's actually the title of the story that I want to talk about. And it's this stage of the cycle, it's saying. And this is, I've been around for a long time, so I understand what it's saying, but it's basically saying that, I'll read it to you. 3 on-chain indicators are flashing maximum frustration for Bitcoin for BTC holders. Crypto quant apparent demand metric has slipped back into the negative. Buyers aren't accumulating aggressively. The bull bear market cycle indicator shows conditions associated with the bearish consolidation phases. Short-term holders are distributing their profits, so they're starting to sell their profits every time BTC rallies above their realized price. And then it's also saying that the 65K to 73K range is a trap for both the bulls and the bears, and nearly 700 million has flowed into BTC ETFs in March so far. So what it's saying is basically like the short-term holders, the people that are trying to just get a small profit, most people, right? Most people buy, they can't hold for 2 years, most people. Smart people can hold for a very long time. But most people that are in any form of profit right now, they're taking their profits and they're running if they're short term. But the real story here is the long-term holders, right? Or like not just long-term holders, but the big money buyers, the ETFs, the micro strategies, the guys that are buying insane amounts of Bitcoin. They are buying still, right? And so basically what's happening is market's going sideways. Short-term holders selling at any form of profit or break even, or probably even under even right now because of whatever's going on in the world. So they're either taking a loss or really not making much. And then all of these big whales are coming in and they are just gobbling up all the Bitcoin. And every time there's a dip, they buy more. They buy more because they have a long-term vision and they understand where this is going. Now, who do you think's the smarter one in this scenario, right? The guys that are over here with billions and billions of dollars that keep buying it up, or the short-term holder that just keeps selling because they're scared or they're in very small profit? It's like it's the never-ending cycle of the rich get richer, because the rich are rich for a reason. They're doing the right things in the right moments. They're buying up Bitcoin and crypto when it's we're close to the bottom. If we're not at the bottom, we're very close to it, in my opinion. And when I said I'm talking about within like a $5,000 to $10,000 range from where we're at. So we could be at the bottom, we've been in a bear market for about 6 months. The smart money, the big money, is buying the crap out of it. You don't want to be following the small money. You want to follow big money when they're doing things. And that's across the board in any industry. It's not just crypto. And there's a reason. There's a reason they're doing what they're doing. And it's really not that complicated, right? The writing's on the wall. And it's been on the wall for a very long time. It's just, you just got to look at what people are doing. And this shows right here, you know. But this is a frustrating range, right? So we're kind of in that sideways range. And then the one thing about Bitcoin and crypto is like, just when you think like things are never going to get better or it's going to get worse, things can just take off, right? Bitcoin can just start running. And that goes both ways. But, you know, at some point, Bitcoin will start sending again. And I've been talking a lot about Bitcoin lately, but it's mainly because there's really not much going on in the industry. And meme coins, it's been pretty slow. I don't like talking a lot about meme coins until there's a lot of action and I can give you guys like really good advice or I would like, obviously we're not going to post contract addresses for coins or talk about them on this channel like this, but we do have a place for that, right? Where we do like to degen and we do like to, you know, play around a little bit and throw contract addresses and stuff. And that will all be coming very soon if you do want to join. You know, if you want to play around, because there is a lot of money still be made in the market with meme coins and things like that. It's kind of the only place right now where you're going to get some action. And if you are interested in that, we will definitely be diving into a lot of that stuff too. It's just, you know, on the macro scale right now with everything going on in the world, you got to talk about Bitcoin a lot. You have to talk about, because Bitcoin's the king, right? Everything kind of follows what happens with Bitcoin. And yeah, and then let's see some other stories. Okay, IEA releases a record 400 million barrels of emergency oil. So the International Energy Agency, 32 member countries unanimously agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil from emergency reserves. So everyone, they're releasing a ton of oil because of what's happening in Iran. They're saying here that analysts warn that by the end of the week, oil goes back up above $100 per crude oil barrel. So we are looking at much more expensive gas, guys. So if you're planning on going on a road trip for spring break, you better factor that into your bills there because it's going to get more expensive. And, you know, like it's a war, right? Like this could be, it sounds so extreme when you say World War III, right? But you know, what else is it, right? Like it's the world starting to war with each other. And that's what we're going through right now. So this could be, you know, something, hopefully not of that magnitude, but like it could be going into some really crazy uncertainty in the world. And I think there's two ways to look at it. You can panic and sell all of your crypto and just hodl dollars that just go down in value. Or you can start saying, look, this might actually be the best possible time for me to start looking into, you know, being part of the hardest money there is in the world and actually owning my own wealth. And in case I got to get up and go, right? Who knows? Maybe you got to get up and get the hell out of where you're at. But yeah, there's not much going on today. Today's kind of a slow one. We're going to start doing a few more tutorials and things like, you know, this channel we just relaunched and we're growing it. We're growing it slowly right now, especially in the bear market. You know, everything's tough, but it's all about consistency and showing up every day, making sure you guys got good videos, give you guys whatever information there is, even in slow days like this when there's not much going on. We're going to make sure to give you guys the information every single day. And tonight we'll be doing another live stream. We were supposed to do one last night. I don't know what happened, but we might even do like 2 or 3 videos today. So make sure you like and subscribe. If you're watching this, like, subscribe. We got so much more coming and we are not going to slow down. Much love, guys. Be nice to each other.